So I've shared what I did. Now I can talk to you about what I advise people to do. One of the things that I advise people to do is get to know who you are. You know, if you're starting, I have really strict rules or guidelines, maybe not rules because people don't like rules. I say I have guidelines I like to give to people regarding when's a good time to start dating. And I got that from a pastor friend of mine, a colleague, who I heard him do a workshop once for young men and young women about dating. And I was like, oh, where was he when I was going through that whole season? And one of the things he talks about in dating is that we go from being single to being locked up in a relationship with someone. And we don't give ourselves time to really, what he calls, generalize, specialize, and individualize. So generalizing is simply saying, I want to go out on a date with a person, meeting at a specific time to do a specific thing. That's just a date. That's not you locked in with someone trying to make wedding plans. That's simply say, let me get to know you. And that gives you an opportunity to get to know that person with their friends, so you get to see how they interact with other people. And it gives you a chance to do your homework. And this applies to both guys and to girls. You shouldn't go and be involved in a monogamous relationship with someone when you don't know who they are. Dating shouldn't be the place you get to know who they are. You should start doing your homework ahead of time, finding out things, asking their friends, doing almost like a background check, so to speak, with other people. What's that kind of person like? What do they like? What don't they like? Once you have a sense of what this person is like, you can start making comparisons and saying, oh, you know what? I like guys or I like girls who are fill in whatever the blank is, because that's during your generalization period. So let's say you've dated a girl, you've dated a guy who's a jock, you dated a guy who's a nerd, you dated a guy who likes to do things with his hands, you dated a guy who's outdoorsy. Now you've dated a broad spectrum of people. And so now you can go, well, you know what, I like guys who are, and you can kind of start filling in your list. And so you go from your generalization now more to your specialization. It could be, for instance, that you decide, I only want to date someone who is, finishing school. My mom, back in the day, I had friends who thought, your mom is too particular. My mom used to say to me, listen, if you're in college, he needs to be in college. Why? She says, because I'm investing in your education. I'm investing in your development. So why would you date someone who is not spending the same kind of effort to invest in themselves? I know what you're gonna say. But what if there's just not anybody like that around where I am? Does it mean I can't date someone who's not in the same place I am? No, I'm not saying that you can't. I'm just giving you the counsel that I give to others. There's wisdom in looking at the group of the person you're thinking of. This is the pool from which I'm going to say yes, right? From a girl's perspective or from a guy's perspective. This is the pool that I'm going to choose from. You want to choose from a pool of people who are going in the direction you're going, have the same values, ideals, dreams, goals, beliefs, and so on and so forth. So you generalized, you tested and seen the different kinds. Now you're specializing, going, these are the types of things I'm looking for. Then you can individualize, right? Because now you can say, out of this group of people, I am willing to say yes to someone inviting me not only to go out, but to be in a relationship over a period of time.